A rock star, and you're going to want to pay close attention. Carrie's going to be coming out and talking about ending the year strong. So again, I want you to stand, get on your feet, and welcome Executive National Vice President Carrie Kane to the stage.
I've never had the opportunity of being in Albany before, so when I was asked to be the keynote here, I was so excited. I want you to know that I know that this is a privilege and an honor, and it's one that I do not take for granted. I don't want to waste 1 second of our time here together today. And I believe to my core that you, first of all, should congratulate yourself for showing up, because that's such a huge part of success in this business. You chose to do what it took to get here. So I'm so proud of you for showing up, and we are not here together by accident today. Okay, there's a reason that we're here together at this time, at this place. So I promise today to be real and raw, completely transparent and authentic, because that is the only way I know how to be, and also because I think that's the best way that we can learn and grow together. I know this is a special group because I received messages from so many of you after GTC, and then after you found out that I was going to be the keynote. So I want you to know that I read those. They meant so much to me. And when you walk out these doors today, you guys, I have one main goal. And then that is, after our time here together, my training this morning and then in the afternoon, that when you walk out of here, you believe with every fiber of your being that you have what it takes, that you're capable of building a wildly successful business, and that the world is waiting for you to rise up. So it's not just that you can, but that it matters that you do. I want to start off just by telling a little bit about me. I think I should grab the clicker here. Hold on 1 second. So just introducing who I am. I live in North Canton, Ohio with my husband and my 5 kids. They are almost 10, down to 1. They are my joy and the reason that I do all that I do with Arbonne. I want to also share with you a little bit about my journey. So I was introduced to Arbonne when I was a senior in college. If you're at GTC, you heard my story that my little brother, when he was 19 years old, he came to the same college where I was, and he fell madly in love with this girl who's now Executive National Vice President, Danielle Lauber. At the time, though, she was an area manager. They fell in love. He came home on winter break his freshman year, and he told my parents that he wanted to get married. And we thought he was absolutely crazy, because we're like, you're 19, you don't have a job or a degree or a place to live. Like, this is not a good plan. And he said, it's okay, because she does this thing called Arbonne. That's exactly what we did. We laughed, because we said, we don't know what Arbonne is, but that's probably not going to work out for you. You're probably going to want a plan B. Obviously, now she's Executive National Vice President. She's amazing. It was the greatest decision he ever made, and it impacted our entire family's life, because although we were incredibly skeptical of the industry, she showed us what Arbonne is and who they are and what they stand for. So my background, I'm a sign language interpreter. I have a master's as an intervention specialist, so I have a huge heart for kids with special needs. And I'm here, no doubt, because my little brother had the courage to fall in love and get married at the age of 19, even though we were telling him not to do that. But you guys, I signed up as a consultant as a senior in college because I did really love the products. I've always really struggled with my skin, battled acne. I had like severe allergic reactions to products. My mom is a survivor of skin cancer. She had melanoma, so she was already on this quest of looking for healthier products. So when we started hearing about Arbonne, it really aligned with our desire to live a more holistic lifestyle, which we loved. And I signed up as a consultant to get a better discount, because back then when I signed up, they didn't have a preferred client option. But I quickly became very intrigued about this whole Arbonne thing and this way of making an extra income. So I started going to events with my sister-in-law, and I like to say I was bit by the Arbonne bug. You know, if you can just get people to come to the events, you know surrounded by such an incredible community. And I wanted so badly, when I would show up at these events and I would see these amazing, incredible people, I wanted so badly to think that I could have success too. Because you guys, I was terrified. I was so incredibly scared. I started showing up at these events, attending events, and I realized that I was surrounded by these beautiful, confident, successful people. And although, like I said, I wanted to believe that I could have the same success, I felt like where I was and where they were was light years away. Anybody ever feel like that? Like where you want to be in your business and where you are today feels like a world away. I think sometimes we make the mistake of looking at people who are in positions where we aspire to be, and we think we have to become something. We have these like false assumptions of what it takes to be successful. So, I'm going to start off by talking about the 6 myths of what it takes to be successful and how my journey defies them. All right, number 1, that you have to look a certain way. All right, so who here has ever had a small child or really anyone take a photo of you, and when you see the photo, you're like, please tell me that is not what I look like in real life. Okay, that's what happened. This picture here on the left. In this picture, you guys, I had 3 babies. They were so I had, thank you, I heard you say that. That's so nice of you. All right, so the photo on the left. I had a 1-month-old, a 1-year-old, a 3-year-old, and it's not so much about how I look, but just let's dissect for a second what's going on in this photo. So I have the cam pants that I was given as a gift in like high school, a cami. That is literally a cloth diaper shoved in my Because if any of you have ever been a nursing mom, you know 1 month is like that awkward time where like milk is coming when you don't want it to, and it's not coming when you want it to, and if the baby cries or like the dog barks weird, it's like, that's coming down. And I'm so tired of like trying to change out like nursing pads or whatever that I started just shoving things down. Okay, so then I would show up at places like GTC. I was in like survival mode, right? Drowning in diapers. I had health issues after I had my babies. So, you know, I've got 2 toddlers and an infant, and I'm just like in survival mode. And then I go to places like GTC and I see these beautiful people and I just be like, oh my goodness, like I'm just trying to survive. How do I get to where they are? And I would watch these people on stage and I would think, you must have to look like that to lead a big team. To lead a big team of people. But you guys, I got asked to train at GTC this year. And you know what? Woo! I know the secret now. I know the secret. It's not that you have to look a certain way to lead a big team of people. It takes a big team of people to make them look that way. How much you have their hair? Their makeup? And they got the fake eyelashes and the spray tan and all these things going on. Okay, but what I want you to know, you guys, is this was my average every day when I was in the trenches of like just trying to survive, raise a family, and also build Arbonne alongside. And I was still working at the time also. But the other thing that I want you to know is that that picture was taken 3 months before I promoted to National Vice President.
Woo!
So what I want you to know is that you don't have to look a certain way. You need to love yourself for who you are and love other people for who they are. All right, number 2. You have to have a lot of money or fancy things for people to want to follow you. Okay, so my husband and I worked really hard to follow the Dave Ramsey plan. We both were working really hard, but we still felt like we were in this place of paycheck to paycheck where it was so hard to get ahead. A friend of a friend was selling her 94-year-old mother's car because she wasn't allowed to drive it anymore, so guess who got it? We did. So I either drove that or a used silver minivan that, towards the end of its time frame, started squealing really loudly when I turned, or the horn shorted and would just start randomly honking. So I had a lot of car issues over the years. A horn randomly honking is the worst. Because people either think that your best friends or And one time I was sitting in, sometimes we have these moments where it moves us to do something different in our lives, to make a change. And I was sitting in that minivan in a construction site, and I was about 5 cars behind the guy that was holding the sign that looks from like slow to stop. And we're stopped, and all of a sudden, my heart starts going up. So I'm sitting there, and I'm mortified, and I'm like crouching down the car, like, please stop, please stop, please stop. And the guy holding the sign is looking at me like, he can't go anywhere. He walks back, finally he walks back to my car, and my horse is like, yeah. So he walks back, I roll up the window, and I literally stick my hands out the window. I'm like, I'm not doing it. He's looking at me, and he's like, you want to get that fixed. I literally made it through the construction site, pulled off in the parking lot, I called my husband, and I was like, this car has got to go. I was like, I needed that Mercedes so badly. But I want you to know that that's when I drove you guys to my events. Another real quick story. I hosted an event at my house. We lived in a really old home. Things were like falling apart. And I had a new consultant come over to my house, and I did an event, and she invited some friends to come. And we were doing the mud mass, and my little tiny sink in the bathroom backed up, and so like green goopy mud was pouring out over the sink. And you guys, I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed because I'm like, here's my new consultant, and I'm supposed to be leading her and training her, and like I'm supposed to be following me to financial freedom, and this is what's happening. Like, this is crazy. This is so crazy. But you know what? She is now a national vice president with Arbonne, and here's what I want you to know. People care so much more about where you're going than where you are today. Okay, I want you to remember that a leader does not say we're here, a leader says here's where we're going. All right, number 3, you have to know a lot of people. So this is a picture of part of my team at GTC this past year. And in this picture, when I started my business, I knew 4 people in this photo. My mom, my sister, a family friend, and a friend from high school. My mom joined my team after I was a district, my sister after I was an area, our family friend after I was a region, and my friend from high school after I went nation. You guys, it's not just about who you know, it's about getting really good at networking and meeting people as you go. So if that's one of your fears, is that you don't know enough people to be successful, you're going to meet the most incredible people along the way. All right, number 4, you have to be really good at social media. So you see this over here on the right, this picture on the far right. That picture of the flowers, that's what, 5, like the 5th one. Those were flowers that some of my amazing friends in Arbonne sent me after I was asked to train at GTC this year. That was my 5th Instagram post that I had ever put up before I trained at GTC. And I remember telling my sponsor, I need to put more posts on Instagram because if people start following me after GTC, I have to have a grid. Like I have to have a full grid, fill it out. And my team was on me, they're like, you have to learn how to do Insta stories before you go to France. And I was like, Kane's gonna be there. You don't want your stories? But they're like, no, you have to, because it just sometimes blows my mind that people want to see these crazy details of your day. It's safe to follow me now. I did get really good at doing it. I tracked my journey in France, and I'm so excited about next year's trip on the African safari. So I have gotten much better, and I do realize, you guys, that social media is an incredible tool. It's a way to brand ourselves, to give a glimpse into our lives, and to connect with people. But it can also be a distraction, a breeding ground for comparison, and a complete waste of your time. So use it wisely. There's many benefits, but don't buy into the lie that you have to be on it consistently or have a huge following to be successful. Number 5, you have to be in an area or network where no one else does Arbonne. Although my belly is like lunar eclipsing my sister. This is a picture of me and all family members. So in Arbonne, we have 5 people in our immediate family that drive an Arbonne white Mercedes, and the sixth one is Almost there. We have 4 national vice presidents with a 5th one on the way. We have very overlapping networks. But the thing that I want you to remember in this business is if you have an abundance mindset, you'll realize that there's so many people out there in the world that have never heard of our run. Number 6, you have to appear perfect and not make mistakes. So I'm making mistakes all the time. I did a spa party one time where my friend hosted it for me, and she lived in a small apartment, and she had 17 people show up. And back then, we were doing spa parties with foot soaps and facials. So I was literally filling 17 bins and carrying them back, like filling them with hot water, carrying them back. It was terrible. You guys follow the system of your upline unless it's filling 17. Give me permission to say it. Hard no on that one. I was like filling it up, bringing it back. I was sweating. I was trying to like keep it together because we're supposed to be like, you should do this too. Like this is like super fun. So I'm trying to make it look easy. I finally get everybody situated. We're crammed in. It's so hot. I get up to do the presentation, trying to keep it cool, and I'm like, thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited to be here today. My name is Emily. If you paid attention at all to who your keynote is today, that is not my name. It's not my name, and not only did I say my wrong name, it was followed by like 15 seconds of me being like, in my head, I'm thinking, do I tell them, wait, that's my name? And like, lose all credibility? Or do I just remember to answer to Emily the rest of the time? So embarrassing. But you guys, you know what? It wasn't that great of a party. I mean, the sales were decent, but not for filling up 17 people. But the host of that party is my really, really good friend from college. And she is now an executive national vice president on my team. And she has promoted 2 national vice presidents in her success fund.
Woo! Yeah, Amy.
And here's what I want you to know from all of this. You can be your imperfect, beautiful, flawed, authentic self and have massive success in this business. You are capable of building a wildly successful business, and the world is waiting for you to rise up. The seeds are already planted inside of you. It's just up to each and every one of us to nurture them, to help them grow into the leader that we were always created to be. All right, so let's talk about how to create massive momentum in your business and end the year strong. You guys, I'm so excited because we're not only ending a year. This isn't the 4th quarter of just the end of a year. It's the end of a decade, and we're also heading into the year 2020, the year of vision, the year of big things happening. I feel like the stars are just aligning for us in our run. And so I want to go through some of my top tips on how you can maximize the momentum of this 4th quarter and close the year strong. Number 1 is vision. I have 5 for those of you that are taking notes. There's 5. Number 1 is vision. Get really clear about where you want to be by the end of the year. I challenged my team last month to pick 3 areas of their lives that they really want to grow in. So when the ball drops at the end of this year and we bring in 2020, that they're able to look back and say, I grew in these areas. For me, it was my business, my health, and my relationships. Because you guys, if we're not careful, if we're not intentional with our days turn into weeks, our weeks turn into months, and our months turn into years. So when you end this year, or the next 2 years, or the next 5 years, the next 10 years, sometimes we stop and we go, how did I get here? How did I get here? And that can either be positive or negative, because we're not ever stagnant. We're not ever just standing still. We're moving in one direction or the other. We're either making choices that align with our vision or that are sabotaging it. I love the book, The Slight Edge. It's one of my favorite books, and that book, it's not like a super entertaining read, but the concepts of that book dramatically changed my life. Because so much of what we need to do to be successful in this business is easy. It's simple, easy, daily decisions that turn into habits. But you know why so many people don't do it? Is because they're also so easy not to do. I'm such a huge proponent of making small shifts in your life compounded over time and seeing the massive results that come from it. So when you're creating your vision of where you want your business to be at the end of this year, you guys let go of fear. Your past does not define where you're going, and the length of time it took you to get where you are today does not dictate your future goals. Seeing clearly where you want to be is so important. I heard this story a couple years ago, and I want to share it with you because I think it's such a powerful example of vision. In 1952, young Florence Chadwick stepped into the waters of the Pacific Ocean off Catalina Island, determined to swim to the shore of mainland California. She'd already been the first woman to swim the English Channel both ways. The weather was foggy and chilly. She could hardly see the boats accompanying her. Her mother in a boat alongside her told her she was close and that she could make it. After almost 16 hours of swimming through a thick fog, frigid water, and nearby sharks, physically and emotionally exhausted, she begged to be taken out of the water. It wasn't until she was on the boat that she discovered the shore was less than half a mile away. At a news conference the next day, she said, "I'm not excusing myself, but all I could see was the fog. I think if I could have seen the shore, I would have made it." 2 months later, she tried again. The fog was even thicker than it had been before, but she succeeded in reaching her goal and arriving on the shores of California. She said, when asked how she managed to do it this time, she said she kept a mental image of the shoreline in her mind while she swam. She later went on to swim it 2 more times and set the world record. So you guys, the power of having a vision in your mind, of knowing where it is that you're going, and not letting the fog be so thick that you can't see where you're going. And in our business, I think the fog is distractions, disappointments, and dream stealers. We need a vision of where we want to be so that we're focusing more on that, and that's what we're holding to in our minds. Number 2, set goals. There was a recent Harvard business study that tracked entrepreneurs over time, like spanning over years. Of this group, 83% of these entrepreneurs didn't have goals yet. They didn't have any goals. 14% had a plan in mind, but they were not written down. 3% had goals and actually had written them down on paper. The study found that years later, the 14% that didn't have them written down, but at least had a plan in their mind, were 10 times more successful than those with no goals at all. The 3% that had it written down was an additional 3 times more successful than the 14%. You guys, these are remarkable statistics that show the power of having goals and having them written down. But again, it's one of those slight edge things. It's so easy to do. It's so easy to write your goal down, but it's so easy not to do it also. Number 3, set benchmarks. Did you know you can increase the likelihood of achieving a goal by 95% if you have a goal written down with a date attached to it, you shared this goal with someone else, and you set specific accountability appointments to check in on the status of your progress as you're reaching towards your goal. You guys, a lot of times I talk about if you want to fill the gap between where you are and where you want to be. GAP, G-A-P, is goal, action plan, pursue until. Goal, action plan, pursue until. If you can keep repeating that, success in Arbonne is repeating that in chunks over and over and over again. Success is small achievements compounded over time, because it's not what you do for a day, it's what you do consistently. So break your goals down into small, actionable, and measurable steps, and assign a time frame to each one. Keep breaking it down smaller and smaller until it's less daunting and more achievable, and this will help you track your progress. Number 4, celebrate your success. What you get by accomplishing your goal is not as important as who you become in the process. Attach rewards to each benchmark, you guys. Keep it fun. Create that energy on your team. Celebrate each other. And remember your vision when things don't go as planned or they're more challenging than anticipated. But celebrate the small wins, you guys. Energy is one of the best things that invites people to be a part of what we do, and you can start creating that by celebrating yourself in your own business and your teammates. Number 5, turn your mountains into molehills. All right, so I told you I was going to be completely transparent, and I want to talk a little bit about my journey you different points in my business, and sometimes putting your QV up in front of everyone is like tracking your weight. That's something that you always want the world to see. But I love this quote by Brene Brown. She says, owning our story, you guys, owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing that we'll ever do. So I want to share with you some really discouraging times in my business. This is just a snippet of when I was a district manager. I was a district manager for a while. You guys, this shows though a time in my business where I was not hitting maintenance, where I wasn't growing. I'd been a district manager for a long time. I was starting to wonder, is this really for me? I knew Arbonne worked for other people, but I was starting to think maybe this was the best that I could do. I was ruled by fear of what other people thought of me. This is a point in my business when I was an area manager. Again, paralyzed by fear, because I would have people join my team, and I'd be so excited, and I'd put like my heart and soul into trying to lead them, but I wasn't consistently out sharing the Arbonne story, meeting new people. I ended up losing my title as an area manager. I like to say my journey at area manager beat the crap out of me. There were times, this was the time where I can remember I was curled up in the fetal position because of some circumstances that were happening in my business, and I was so discouraged, and I felt like I had been working for so long to be sliding backwards. It just was a really discouraging time in my business, and that again left me questioning my worth and my value. As a region, right after I promoted to regional vice president, you guys, I was battling these ideas of unworthiness. We had to stretch to finish our promotion, and then we kind of fell backwards afterwards. So I was just feeling like success was a fluke. I was justifying. And I think we do this so many times in our business. We have something go well, but we're like, yeah, it was a GTC month. Or like, oh, well, that was mainly her leg of the business. I had to really stretch to get there. One of my favorite things in Arbonne is watching people do with ease what a few months before they had to really stretch to do. But you guys, this left me feeling ashamed and unworthy. And I wasn't showing up. When we're dealing with those kind of emotions, we're not showing up as the leader we need to be. So my business continued to slide backwards. You guys, these were mountains in my business. These were times where I looked up and I didn't know if I had what it took to get to the other side. But what I want to show you today is what happens if you keep going. If you keep putting one foot in front of the other and you keep showing up. If you keep showing up no matter what, and you commit to doing 3 things really well: loving, learning, and leading. If you can devote getting really good at those 3 things, those mountains in your business become molehills. You guys, this is a graph of my journey until the first time we became $1 million organization.
Woo!
And what seemed like mountains, what seemed like things that were devastating at the time, when you look at it now, it's just a blip on the radar. It's funny because I look at that first half of my journey, and I call that now, like when I look at it in the graph, I call that my runway. I was just getting my engine ready. I was just getting ready to take off. The other thing that I want you to see is that success is messy. Like, it's not this perfect linear thing where every month is better and better. We're gonna have our ups and downs. I mean, if that was literally like a flight plan, you'd be like, here we go, we're gonna die. Oh my God. If you track that, sometimes it feels like that when you're living it. But you guys, I want you to have a long-term perspective and know that when you're in this business for life, those things that seem so huge in your business end up being the times that stretch you and grow you into a leader that's going to be relatable to people and that's going to be able to coach people through things because you can say, I've been there too. So what I want you to do is learn from my journey. Don't let fear rule your business and your life. We attach so much worth to speed and titles and growth and falling backwards, and with those often comes shame, embarrassment, and defeat. And I'm here to tell you, walking through my journey, you guys, those things are only holding you back, and it's a waste of your time and your energy. When I promoted to National Vice President and I finally arrived on the beaches of Maui, not one person said to me, "Congratulations. I really need to know how long it took you to get here. Really need to know how many years it took you." Nobody asked me that question, you guys. There's no hierarchy of 2 years or less. You get to sit over here. 15 years or more. You're in the back section. It's not like that, you guys. It's the opposite. Your stories are celebrated. Your mountains make you a warrior that earns your place here. So people building fast, I said this in my GTC speech, it's always a good thing. Don't ever tear apart somebody else's success. I can't stand when I hear people say things like, "Oh, well, she's a doctor. Oh, she had a big following already on social media. Oh, well, she's this, she did that. He was already really good at this." You guys, if people are doing it fast, it's because they're doing more. They're working harder. And I think when we own that, we're able to say, that we're grateful for those incredibly fast journeys because it raises the bar and it shows not only us, but everybody else looking at Arbonne, because we're all Team Arbonne, shows everybody else what's possible. They're working hard, they're doing more. So whatever your journey is, you guys, own it. Because like Brené Brown said, owning it and loving yourself in the process is the bravest thing that you will ever do. The other quote that I love from her is she says, "When we deny the story, it defines us. When we own our story, we can write a brave new ending." So no matter where you are, today is a new day. And the good news is you can create momentum in your business at any time. And momentum will propel your business to new heights. The other thing I want you to know is that you are closer than you think. There was a time in my business where we hit halfway to nation for the first time. So we hit 80,000 as a team. And I was excited and I was celebrating, but I also had this moment of it has taken me years to get to this point. It's gonna take me that many more years to get the other half. But what I decided to do was say, no, I'm gonna decide that we're doing this, that we're going for this promotion, and I'm gonna create momentum in my business. And I'm gonna do that by deciding that we're going nation, and I'm gonna do that by creating the energy around that and then backing it with activity. You guys, from the month that we hit halfway to nation, 3 months later, we went into nation qual, and the month after that, we finished. You're so much closer than you think, and momentum compounds. It grows exponentially, so start today and believe that you're worthy. I have never been more excited about who we are as a company and where we're headed. I had the incredible privilege of going to France this year and not only seeing Groupe Rocher, but spending time with our incredible, amazing new CEO, Jean David, and having the opportunity to be there and to tour the facility. And I know Amy Hazelton's in the room somewhere. Where's Amy? Amy went with me to France. You guys, it was an incredible trip, but having the opportunity, I feel like it's our responsibility to come back and to share with all of you how exciting our future is, because we were able to see that while we were there. And you guys, fourth quarter is always statistically the strongest in Arbonne. We have new products. We have the holiday line. I was a national vice president all by myself for 5 years. And then in 8 months, you guys, in the last 8 months, we've promoted 5 national vice presidents. If that doesn't tell you the kind of momentum that Arbonne is in and where we're headed, then I don't know what else does. But you guys, the momentum is happening in Arbonne, and it's your choice to rise up and to be a part of it. And I want you to believe that you are so worthy of being a part of it, and now is the time to step up and take your business to the next level. You are capable of building a wildly successful business, and the world is waiting for you to rise up. I can't wait to be with you this afternoon.